On this episode of Vintage Vanderpump Rules, Jack's dick gets its 15 minutes of fame. Also, it's hilarious that he's a sociopath. Yuck it up, folks. And VPR continues to break ground for their attitudes about sobriety. Hello, everyone. This is Vanderpump Rules Season 5, Episode 11, The D-Pick. And I have been waiting all week to talk to Jeff about this. I am Sunday, pop culture professor, self-proclaimed expert on all things reality and pop culture, heavy on the self-proclaimed. Although I am not an expert on the D-Pick, but I have received a few unsolicited. Thank you very much.
I'm Jeff, former Bravo noob, current staying ready to dish about these folks guy, and also not real familiar with the D-Pick, sending or receiving, but I bet I could find one online.
I bet you could too. And I saw this joke on somewhere because, before Carla, I was dating here and there. And I'm just going to tell you right now, women do not send unsolicited nudes. I'm just saying, women don't do that. But I read this thing, and so you got one, and I was like, oh my God, how dare you send a picture of a child's penis? I'm calling the police. He blocked me. So let's get into it. It feels like a long time since we have talked about him, but to remind you guys,
we've even spoken about housewives since then.
That's right. Let me do a little business before I get into it, y'all. So stay tuned. Jeff and I just did our Real Housewives of OC because Emily is too busy drinking mimosas and doing yoga with a set far fancier than us. But she and I have decided that I think Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Trip is going to be the way to go on that. So we are going to discontinue use of the OC because of its recall warning. Just kidding, because we just didn't want to do it. So I'm still going to watch it. I don't know. So question mark if Emily will. And Jeff, maybe we'll dip him. I might do an OC corner here and there, but definitely find us next week for our, the initials are so hard. It's RHUTGT. So find us next time for Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Trip.
It's easier to say the whole title, honestly.
I know. And then also Jeff and I are taking on House of Stassi, which we're going to see. Have you gone back and watched any of the Vanderpump Villa episodes yet?
No. That's doing that coming up. I'm going to do a whole bunch. So
interesting enough, I think it's going to kind of hit you in your hospitality service much more than Vanderpump Rules ever did. There's a lot of talk about service. Well, I don't know how much experience you have with hotel hospitality, but there's a lot of that about guest service and this and that. So, it is baked into that really well.
I'm excited.
Southern hospitality.
I'm excited.
And McBee Dynasty, as always, Noel and I are really trudging through it. These folks are quite literally criminals. And I'm fairly safe to say trash humans. They're not great. Not great.
Okay. So truly nasty and dynasty.
Yeah. Yes. It's Mr. McBee if you're dynasty. I'll work that in. I've workshopped it for weeks. I finally got it. I know. You talked about it.
You bragged about it on here already.
I bragged is strong, sir. Bragged is strong. I feel like I just said it normal. But okay. So the last time we checked on these folks, Summer House was born. Stassi with her formal bathing suit, turtleneck, Steve Jobs. The other set, the Sonoma Express, went to the NASCAR, but without Lala because she stood him up. Ariana is not a bridesmaid, but is a groomsman. And Jax and Brittany fight because he's the worst.
That's right.
So that's where we pick up. So we pick up immediately with LVP. And you mentioned this in the Real Housewives recap we just did. LVP would never allow people to shoot bunnies in her backyard, but she is getting an animal line. And I wrote LVP fat shaming her animals and reinforcing traditional patriarchy.
I also wrote something about fat shaming, and we just said a few episodes ago, I was like, she should just get her own dog line. That should be what she does on here. I don't know why she's even messing around with, and here we are. We were wondering about Jiggy, and because there's been so much Harrison lately, and I guess Jiggy's just been at home eating bonbons because...
Are we sure they're not Weekend at Bernie's Jiggy?
Well, there's no reason to bring a new one out just to scold him on this in front of the entire world. Meanwhile, Harrison's over here getting a purple hair job and
Yeah,
just
exactly. It's like,
allowed to do whatever.
you're not a masculine enough for them. I do love part of the dynamic between Ken and Lisa that I love so much is you never get the sense that he's like jealous of her starness, because the minute that
No,
Katie and Schwartz walk in, he bolts. He's like, bye,
peace.
I'm
He
out.
just, and I think he even left it with like, I have to leave.
He's
Like,
like, I gotta go.
you can't say that in real life. A normal person just can't be like,
No.
I have to leave. Everyone's like, what do you mean you have to leave? Like Ken says it. It's just like, take care, man.
Yeah. And so you never get the sense
You
that
okay
he
down those
feels,
stairs, by the way? You all right?
oh,
Going down
and,
those?
and he's holding Jiggy in one. Like, well, somebody help this man. And Katie's breaking in because don't forget, Katie is Lisa's assistant, and
Yeah.
all things that seem completely fucking frivolous. But now it's about new dresses, and we see some flashbacks to the dresses. And I guess that she's moved away from those handkerchief ones in season one,
Mm-hmm.
in which Stassi had to like tape her boobs in and, not wear underwear and stuff. But Lisa has some feelings about some of them. And, I don't know if there's any like plus size women working at SUR. That's all I'm going to say about that.
No, especially not back then. These are definite dresses, all of them, for a very particular,
Yeah. Very thin.
range
Very
of
thin,
sizes,
thin
I'll
lady.
say. Yeah. I love how she got about a 2-second recap of each trip and was like, yeah, anyway, so you got those dresses. Like, she did not like, how was everything? Like, oh, there was car racing and beer. So you got those dresses for me over there? Like, that's all
Yeah.
you're here
She's
for.
contractually obligated to be in however many scenes. But I love it how she never misses an opportunity to take Jax out. But maybe I'll get him an orange jumpsuit. Let me ask Jax if he can have one. Like, girl, he's not even in the room. Get your foot off this man's neck. He's not even here. Wild. But I do just want to remind everyone that Schwartz and Katie took separate trips. As a engaged couple that is getting married in about a month, they took separate trips because reasons. And this is where she invites her to her bridal shower. And so now,
which is the first
gotta go.
big event of their wedding season.
Yeah, their wedding season has been like 30 seconds because she didn't start planning until episode 1. Like, girl, get your shit together.
I mean, there was an engagement party. That was pretty big. We had we had a bridesmaid party. We've had a trip.
They went to Montauk
up there. Yeah, there's anyway, that's just
yeah. So this is where we first learned too that she has to get her shift covered because Kristen's doing sketch comedy, and I just wrote no.
If you thought the reveal of getting to see Jiggy at the beginning of the show was a big thing for me, it was. But when I got to know that Sunday was going to have to watch Kristen do sketch comedy, I loved
it. I don't consent to this. But, I take sketch comedy very seriously, Jeff.
Yeah.
Just so you
know. But I did like that they tore into that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it does. And to Katie's credit, she takes up for it. She's like, listen, Kristen's funnier than you think she is. Spoiler, y'all, she's not. But Sheena is always... Oh, wait. We go downstairs. Sorry, I skipped my little thing. We go downstairs.
No, it is. It's Sheena and Brittany.
Yeah, just stirring shit up. Like, So, first off, how did she hear this? It had to have been Ariana tell Sheena that they were fighting the whole time, that Lala didn't come. Like, it was obviously Ariana being like, yeah, Jax was a real dick. And she heard him. And if she wants Sheena to take care of him, girl, what are you going to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? You're nothing. She'll knock him around. That's what she'll do. She'll knock him around.
His attitude's not going to be changed by him. But we did get to see some nice Kentucky pics.
Oh, yeah, from Christmas. That's right. Because her mother is quite literally on the way right now.
When you said frosted lips the other day, well, we'll wait. We can wait. I was like, what's frosted lips mean? And I'm glad I didn't ask because here it is. And
why Brittany didn't pull her to the side and be like, Mama, don't do that. You're on TV. That's going, come on. You know what? She must hate her mom. So then Another part to Sir is when Lala comes up and delivers this very weird, like, I don't know if she was trying to apologize or make an excuse, but like her whole demeanor was just so petulant. Like, what? I mean, y'all trying to set me up? Like, God, girl, you said you were hyped the day before we left. Nobody pulled anything over on you. What are you doing?
Well, and she kept saying something about these people that are bringing her down, these people she can't be herself around. Like, it's just Jackson Brittany, right? Just Jackson Brittany. Like, just say it's Jackson Brittany. Everybody else is
I think it's just Jax.
Well,
and
Brittany and her don't seem to be getting along either, but she came in.
Sheena materializes like a vapor.
Right.
And just starts chirping. Right.
I think she saw what Lala was wearing and was like, wherever that outfit and handbag are going, I'm following, because there's some shit about to go down with from the shoes to the handbag, that she was dressed ready to make some kind of statement today. And so Sheena was like,
that was
sticking to that.
Very expensive handbag too.
I'd never want to comment on people's attire here, but that was like, oh shit, that is some very nice duds she's got here.
Yeah, she's obviously come into a windfall, whether it's her mother or whatever. But I just wrote, girl, just put the fries in the bag. This is none of your business. Go back and polish silverware. You're not in this. And of course, well, she's one of my best friends. If nobody knew, Ariana's one of Sheena's best friends. So that just gives her license to just pop up anywhere and everywhere to just talk shit about something like Sheena. And maybe the editing is doing her wrong here. Maybe she did wander up. Maybe she just didn't like pop up like a gopher, like it made it seem like. But she is making herself just look so thirsty for camera time. That's all that occurred to me was like, girl, get out of frame. Get out of frame.
No, I mean, about you. They reacted like she came out of nowhere. So I get that.
Okay. Okay. Well, at least they're not cheating me.
What I'm almost like respectful of somebody's reaction, and I'm going to walk carefully here, but like Sandoval just like taking in the information, doing like you said, like you said this the day before we left, and then you do this, like this is unreasonable. And I don't know, maybe I'm done with Lala, rather than the girls who have to make this huge deal and like, well, maybe you can't be trusted and let me go find out what's going on in your life. Whereas he's like, well, I see how you acted this one time and maybe we just don't need to be hanging out. And I was like, that's such a much better approach to me.
I mean, whatever is happening, because Sandoval is done. I don't know if I'm there yet with Lala, but whatever is happening in Lala's life, it is a marked shift from what we saw from last season to this season. So whether it is a romantic partner who is calling the shots, or whether it's something is very, very different about her. And we're going to learn a little bit more about this with this NDA business in a minute. But I don't know. And this is another trope that we didn't get to on our OC, but in Beverly Hills, they do it a lot, where it's like, you're not sharing enough with your life. So I get it that she wants to be private. Okay. I get that whatever she wants to do, but then you don't need to do this season, because you made a contract with us. You made a parasocial contract with us that we get to see your life, and we know you're lying to us. We know you're hiding something from us. And that is what's off-putting to me. I find her to be, delightful in many ways, but don't try to get one over on us. And the same with the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, which that's what we really should have talked about. That shit was good as hell, where Rula's husband is having an active affair and Rula is trying to hide it from production, is trying to hide it from Bravo, therefore hiding it from the fans. It just comes off as really inauthentic, and we can't root for you because we don't know you. And I'm telling Lala, it's like, if you could even just tell the confessionals, just tell us, girl, it's just me, you, and the chickens. Just tell us what's happening.
I'm not done with her either, but I've definitely gone on the more sour side from where I was even 4 or 5 episodes ago. Like, this is like all the things I've been telling, like, I'm with you. Just give me something to keep going and we'll roll on. Like, whatever it is, let's just get past it. Now, don't hesitate too long. We got to get to the comedy show Sunday.
I was about to say,
we've got to get to the improv here.
Main stage at the improv. And I just wrote, yikes. I don't want it. Like that whole intro that she did about like, the Snapchat. Like, I don't want it. It is so, you see what I mean by confrontational though, right? When I describe stand-up comedy, as confrontational. You see what I mean? She's forcing us to laugh. She is got a gun to our head and say, I'm going to say some shit, and whether it's funny or not, you better react positively.
I don't
I don't
receive
care
it
for that.
like you do so aggressively. But I don't even know if she meant it to be funny. But I thought when she said, like, I wasn't actually invited up here. And then she kept going. Kristen, like I just mentioned last week, we got to see Kristen at a party she was invited to. And that was a neat thing for us because she's never invited to any of these parties. So for her to start with that, pretty funny, actually. But
I mean, fine. But like nobody else in the audience knows that joke. Just her friends. And then
I don't think
imagine
it was intentional. That's why I think it was so funny. She just said that.
that
Like, I
makes
think
it
that was
worse.
accidental. Yeah.
But that makes it worse. But so then, we also get a flashback to I take sketch comedy very seriously. And then we get the titular bit here where they're doing some bit about like taking unrequited dick pics or unrequested dick pics and turning them into art, whatever. And she uses Jax's dick.
Yep.
This is a baller move. Whether she understood the impact of it, it is hilarious. And hilarious to us because we understand the context of Jax's disgustingness. We understand how he treats women. But even without it, like they're sitting around and all of the people at the table recognize his dick.
I think it's bizarre. And I mean, this is why I mentioned Kristen as kind of the shit stirrer when we were talking about our, this person and the OC is like this, because this is nothing but stirring shit. This is not like cutesy.
Hilarious.
And if you want to be like Brittany, who's new here, like if you want to definitely piss off at least two people here, that's the one you use. And that horseshit in the confession about the, I went on the internet and couldn't find a dick pic because I just looked up politicians.
Well,
you couldn't.
That was one of my because of the past is like not being able to go straight to a dick pic on the internet. Like that was one of my because of the past.
In 2016, trust me, you're fine. You're not finding a dick on the internet.
Maybe one that she couldn't download or whatever behind a paywall. But I think it's hilarious. But what also too is if you just want to like take account, like Jax could have stood up in that audience and be like, "Hey man, raise your hand if you have slept with me," and half of the audience went. It is Kristen and Rachel and Stassi and Brittany and whoever else. Like that was a bit though. I found that to be funny. Was it mean spirited? Absolutely. Was it problematic? For sure. But Brittany recognizes it and Jax tries to mitigate immediately. He's like, no, she got it from the internet. It's not mine. Girl, come on. He knows his own dick. Like,
did he say no at first? I just didn't catch that. I didn't.
The camera pans and we just get there. We just pick up their mics and she's like, "Oh my God, it better not be." And he's like, "Oh, it's from the internet." It ain't from the internet.
I saw it's from the internet, but I didn't know he was saying no because it is from the internet. Because the girl that he sent it to posted it on Twitter, and Sandoval recognized that was him because that fucker still had his shoes on when he had his shit pulled out and was taking a picture of it.
Yes, but whatever girl he sent it to, which they didn't mention it, but like she was like, "You ain't getting away with this shit, motherfucker. Go,
right to
let
Twitter.
me have at it." Yeah, right to Twitter. And so he sent it to a girl, and the girl, I guess, tweeted it. I did not go look for it because I did not want to type in the search bar Jax Taylor's dick. So so did you find it?
No, nope, I didn't. I will mention it at the end of the episode. I did not though, but no, I straight up put Jax Taylor dick pic on my phone. What?
Well, I mean, I just was afraid that would come back. What would come back? You know what I mean? Like I didn't want my eyeballs to burn out of my head because who knows what this man has done. The fact that Jax Taylor does not have an OnlyFans in 2026 is beyond incomprehensible to me.
Yeah, but if it was like, I bet it's just because he has a kid or something like that. Somebody's got to be wise enough to be like, no, man, you don't want that. Like,
he has been in the news this week too because
he sure has. All
the rumors about that publicist that him and Brittany shared for a really long time. They're together now, and
yeah.
I don't understand.
But Brittany is no longer with her. She has let her go as publicist. So
I don't understand a woman who is going to say yes when Jax Taylor asks them out. I mean, have you seen anything? Have you been
You say
alive?
that. You say
I
that,
just,
Sunday Rose.
I mean,
But
listen, you want to
push
lay down
comes
and
to
roll
shove.
around? Listen, you want to lay down and roll around? Fine. But you want to be my boyfriend? Absolutely not. There is no
Yeah.
freaking way. But anyway, I also find this whole bit with Stassi about how she says that she couldn't recognize any of them. And so, like, so you're bad in bed, right? Like, you couldn't recognize anybody's dick, any of boyfriend's dick. Like, I kind of feel bad for your boyfriends now.
We've said stuff like this before. Like, Stassi has weird feelings about dicks and sex. This has come up
Yeah.
before.
Mm-hmm.
She's awkward about it. There's something about like physicality and intimacy that she is weird about. And I don't really think it has that much care for it. You know, when it's like, well, if I put this on my dating profile, people won't like it. Like, well, I'll just use it anyway. Well, I'll just do this. We've never seen her like hit on somebody. We've never seen her be interested. The only partners we've seen her with are Jax, who she was with pre-show, and Patrick, who we've never met. I
Don't
mean,
ever
there
get
was a little
Frank.
bit of Frank that was, no, I haven't ever. But we only saw them like at dinner, pissed off. You know, we didn't really see too much of them. We heard more about their sex life outside of the show than we did in the actual show. So there's
Yeah, you're
something,
right.
I think there's just something to that. I mean,
She does have some weird stuff, some real prudish like ideas about it.
it's almost prudish. Like it's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like that's just not part of her. And I am not condemning or praising or anything. I just mean, I'm just noting like there is just some part of her that I think just isn't concerned. And honestly, you know, I guess she is getting a little older now, but I was going to say like in mid-20s, there's a lot of women who definitely still haven't, you know, gotten into that and then
Especially
will.
these
But
days. Yeah.
yeah,
Brittany's
Kristen
bad.
does. Yeah. And Kristen
And
could
drunk.
easily apologize right here. Kristen could end this whole thing right here and
But
chooses not to.
I just don't understand. I mean, yes, I found it hilarious, but I just don't understand the motivation. She's not beefing with Jax. She's not beefing with Brittany. She's back in with all of her friends. Did she not play it out in her head and be like, hey, they'll probably think this is funny? Or, oh no, they're going to get mad. Like, what is the point of doing this? It just seemed needlessly careless.
Did you think that this was needlessly careless and Kristen Doty aren't very far apart as sayings go?
No,
and I mean,
it just seems.
Do you not think
right?
Kristen's a shitster?
Yes, but I don't understand. Like, oftentimes her shit stirring is very much pointed in a direction, but as a result of some perceived slight, right? Like Miami Girl, she perceived that Tom was cheating on her, and this shit with Ariana. Like, there is no slight that she's reacting to. This is just completely unwarranted, and that seems a little strange. I mean, I'm not saying it's out of character by any means, but it just seems kind of random. It seems kind of
unless she's upset that Brittany is with the guy she's in love with.
I don't know about that.
I'm just throwing. I didn't have that in my notes or anything. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know.
But she could easily apologize and squash the whole thing right this second.
But you know who else is super interested in Jax's dick pic? Lisa Vanderpump. The next thing we go to is Sir, and like Katie's doing some, I don't know, paint samples or whatever, and she immediately tells Lisa about Jax's dick pic, and she's like, I was like, oh, I should get a glance. Lisa wants to smash. And are we sure, speaking of conspiracy theories, are we sure they haven't? Like,
no.
I mean, you know, Jax loves the older lady. He was Ramona Singer from Real Housewives of New York.
Well, if they're going to, it's not up to Jax Taylor, first off. So Jax likes it, whatever the fuck that means.
I think Lisa wants it. She wants to get
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's up to her. It's not up to Jax. Yeah. Of course, Jax is into an older lady. Hey, a hole is a hole. Remember that phrase? I don't think he really balked at that. There you go. No, Katie was not doing well with the paint samples, but no, we don't. I have to say, though, that I think it's way more fun to think of it as, but they never, you know, I don't think so.
I mean, we can only hope, I guess, that they did.
I hope that they did not.
I don't know.
I'm going to hope they did not. Yeah. Ken's going to knock the spark out of them if
yeah,
so.
He is. He's got to put Jiggy down first. But then, so Jax and Brittany are heading over to Stassi's to listen to the podcast, and he's got a bone to pick with Kristen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. And it says, no, I have written in my notes right here about Jax lied to her that it wasn't his. So maybe, yeah, I think that he told her initially that that it wasn't his, and then come to find out it was. I have that right.
Well, this is them again saying, like, we would like an apology. Like, y'all need to apologize to us.
Well, it's already weird enough that Jax uses the phrase had relations. But
Yes,
also,
it's very weird.
When you look around, he's had relations with every woman in that room. So maybe everybody should just get the fuck over it, right? Like, it's fine.
Well, that's kind of what
everybody's seen it anyway.
Stassi kind of says that, but she gives this weird explanation that really digs herself deeper. Like, she's not really involved in this at all, but the way she explains it's like, we're all friends and we say stuff to each other so we don't realize how hard we're going. Like, you're just describing being an asshole and not giving a shit is all. Like, her like long-winded explanation is kind of just like
established.
Yeah, we don't really regard each other's feelings or whatever. So, I mean, who cares? And then Jax is like, this is only going to go bad for me if we keep talking about my dick. So, Lala, did y'all hear the Lala news? Tom and Lala aren't getting along. Like, let's just get right back to that.
Isn't this where they're all laughing about how he took the sociopath test again when they got home and still clocked in? Why is that not a red flag, Brittany? Like, this man tested positive for sociopathy twice. Ha 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 ha. That's hilarious. Let me just tie myself to him. Let me hook my train to this. It's crazy. Like,
it's like that was the first sign. I mean, what has she seen in like her actual life with her own eyes?
I mean, I know, but now she's got test results now. Like, that feels like a fairly assertive way. Yeah, no, she wants to be famous. But then, of course, about Lala, you said, and Brittany says that she hates Lala because of Katie and Jax. What the fuck did Lala do to Jax?
She blames her for all the stuff that was going on when she was on the way to California.
That's a niche choice. Speaking of, like, that is crazy. And all that stuff in Hawaii too, where which it came to find out that Jax did try to fuck her. Like, Jax was in the wrong the whole time, and Brittany chose to stand by my man.
That's right.
But that was last season, so they've seen the reunion, she's seen the footage, and she's still acting like Lala is the villain in this way. Like, that is on purpose, blind to, I don't know, I can't. Like, Brittany had this is why I'm telling you that I don't have all the sympathy for Brittany in the world, because she sees what he is and she enables what it is, and she really creates an environment for that poison in him to breed and those poisonous attitudes. And so that's why I'm not all in on Brittany. Like, I do love her and I find her to be sweet and stuff, but she's not, I mean, she's culpable in it in a lot of ways. And I just, whatever.
They all want like this Lala going down so bad though. Even if she like screwed some people over, like the fact they want it so bad is just really weird to me.
It is gross.
And it always has been. So,
like a juicy steak. But then the next scene we go to is James' apartment. And this is where I was talking about how the really, really supportive attitudes around sobriety, in which Lala's like, God, what a boring ass motherfucker you are. Ice cream? Like, give me some brown liquor, sir. Like, this sucks. You are terrible. Ugh, boo.
You're not popping bottles over here anymore? What a lame-o. Yeah.
I mean, I would like to punish him for saying he's only screaming for ice cream these days.
Yeah.
I can't. That is so rude.
It's really corny. But like, does she really not get the idea of not drinking? Like, does that?
Or the reason why James probably doesn't need to drink.
Yeah. I mean, she's 24, right? Like, I've been working in restaurants for years already at that point. Like, I already definitely knew a few people who were like, all right, that's enough for me. I can't make any good decisions when that happens. So y'all have fun with it. And even then, and I was pretty out there as a drinker by that age, like, I wasn't like thrown off by it. Like, I mean, it seems like she just can't wrap her head around it, you know?
Right.
And I don't know if that's show or she's trying to be fun or what, but yeah.
Like she downright mocks him. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Mr. Like, that's like, damn, girl, sheesh. Like, let this man live.
But
then
where was she, Sunday?
Well, you know, her story stays mostly the same, but bitchier when she's talking to him, right? Like, she didn't want to go because of Jax or because of this and this and this. And I don't know. Is this where she's talking about private planes? And unless you're ugly, you should have been invited on a private plane. Is this the part right here?
Yeah. Well, she's talking about being at the Beverly Hills Hotel with her dog, which is what she did instead.
That's right. I forgot to mark that down. Why?
It doesn't matter who paid for it. No one asked anything about who pays for anything. So anyway, we're going to go to Malibu and take a helicopter and shit like that. First off, what is shit like that when you're talking about taking a helicopter to a different town, not that far away? I would like to know. And if you're not with people who are asking how much is that, like, it's only because they're the people that are paying for the thing that you're doing right now.
Well,
everyone else is most certainly asking, how do we pay for that?
I don't know. Like, that feels a little like I am excusing James in this particular context because so much has been made about who is paying for her stuff. But in a real world situation, when somebody invites me somewhere, I'm like, who's paying for that? I don't know if I would do that. That feels a little tacky to me. But because
No. I mean, like your coworker and stuff, right? Like, wouldn't they raise it if you're 24 and you were like, somebody's picking me up. We're taking a helicopter to Miami. We're flying to Miami. We're doing this. You don't think anybody was like, damn, who's splitting the bill on that?
I wouldn't have, because I just find to talk about money being very tacky and gross. So it would not have been me. I could have relied on one of my other bitchier friends in my circle to definitely ask that question.
Does the phrase,
to get
damn, that sounds expensive, sound like it may have come out of Sunday Rose's mouth?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you give me something and I'm not going to be like, damn, Jeff, how much was this? That's rude as hell. I'm never going to do that.
I'm not saying asking for the price, but wondering about who it is when you're talking about planes and helicopters at 24. No. I think somebody asks. Yeah.
I'm saying
or
in
it's
this
not
context, I'm going to forgive him. But I would just be like, I would rely on my other friends. But
I don't.
This is this whole bit about where she's like, listen, I can't believe these girls were just asking where this came from. Like, unless you're ugly, you've been on a private plane. I can't vouch for the veracity of that because I grew up here. And so there wasn't a whole lot. There was an excess of private planes available to me and my friends. But that seems a very strange thing to say, especially when you were already ensconced in a situation that is causing the rumors. Like,
that's where I'm saying about all this being shady, and it is worth asking who's paying for it and all. Like, I'm not decrying James on asking. Like, I see why everybody asks. Like, you're a child
in that context.
Like,
he's right. He's right to question about it. But he knows she's lying. He's like, you're a lying liar.
That's how you found out. Like, one of your friends at Stassi and Danny's old apartment is like 22 and they're flying somewhere, and you go, shit, how did you pay that? Like, oh, well, if you're going to be an Instagram model, like I'm going to be, like, just jump on the board with us and you can get a flight to Italy. Like, no one just, like, there is some kind of intro that has to be there. But
I mean, but none of these people are subtle in any way. Freaking Stassi and Kristen, like, hatched this plan to meet up with James, and he calls it, he was like, well, first off, it's definitely not a 3-way. Let's just toss that off the list. But he calls it immediately. He's like, oh, so I'm saying, because he made that list. I'm like, obviously, we can cross that off the list. But it's so obvious what they're doing. Kristen's like, well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm 2 steps from a restraining order. But yeah, let's have a sit down in a restaurant and talk about it, for the sheer fact of getting gossip and tea about Lala, which I guess, to their fucking credit, he does drop some major goss right here. Like,
yes, he does.
This is big, 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 big. I mean, a non-disclosure agreement is passed around, and good for James. And you know what? I believe that Ariana and Tom Sandoval didn't sign it either, because I bet Bravo wouldn't let them. I bet $1 million Bravo was like, listen, if you sign that NDA, you're in violation of your contract with us, and we'll come get you. Like, don't sign it because you can't do both. And that's what I'm really worried. That's why I'm like annoyed with Lala, because James didn't sign it so that he could have this conversation with Stassi and Kristen. Period. Point
Oh,
blank.
yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, Stassi immediately thinking they did is a leap, because
I was wondering about, like, what does that mean that she has suspicions about it? I mean,
well, later, she uses the example that Ariana and Sandoval never ever say anything bad about Lala, and they never
no,
criticize
yeah,
her. But that's not what the NDA was about. And so you're
right.
conflating like two ideas here.
So kind of, I mean, what if they did? Sandoval and Stassi aren't buddies, so they wouldn't be really sharing information about Lala, even if they had it. So
Yeah.
what's all this suspicion worth? Like, Stassi and Kristen can go find something else to do, is all I'm saying.
Well,
like I have such suspicions about Tom and Ariana signing this NDA. Like, for what? And even if they did, and you're not going to get any closer to figuring out what the secret Lala's hiding is. So
and
you're not getting there.
Well, Stassi is so worried that they're co-conspiring with her to keep the secret of the boyfriend. This is Stassi's full-time job at this point, like figuring out who Lala's boyfriend is. And the way Kristen just sits down, well, she's a bitch and a hoe. Listen, I have never
fucking
suggested that Kristen is a poet or a wordsmith in any way, shape, or form. But this is just such a lazy way to talk about somebody. And it just shows your lack of vocabulary. And there's a lot of things you could say about Lala, but just coming out, she's a bitch and a hoe. So uninspired. It's just uninspired.
My first thought was, I'm going to have to quit watching this show, and it's going to be because of her. That was and I was having a fine time watching this show and taking notes and looking forward to talking to you about it. Kristen can say one shitty thing like that. I'm like, this is not worth my time or effort to explore at all if she's just going to come out and say something like that.
I mean, yeah. And I know that it doesn't age very well. And I would like to hope that 2026, Kristen would watch this and cringe at her own behavior and understand how like internalized the misogyny is there. I don't know whether that's true or not, but
Sunday Rose puts the hoe in hope, everybody.
And Stassi talks about she needs proof that Sandoval and Ariana are in on it. So let's take a break right here. And when we come back, we're going to meet the frostiest of all frosted lips, Brittany's mom. All right, we're back. You want to talk about Sherry?
Sherry in the house with Jax on the couch, ready for the bridal shower. Sherry, looks like she's from Kentucky. I mean, definitely has like a 1970s country star kind of thing. Got a big tan, got real dark hair, and loves her some Jesus.
I'm going to venture a guess that tan is absolutely real, that tan is earned by tanning bed and laying out and baby oil and Coca-Cola spread all over her. Like,
and they like a trip to Florida.
Yeah. Don't we all? I am going to venture a guess that she's not getting an artificial tan, but she comes in really hot. There's a lot of eyeliner too much eyeliner for the day. Her earrings are too big. Like, it's literally in the morning. Sherry, where are you going? What's happening here? But I won't do that. You already said very religious. And Brittany's like, I tell my mom everything. Well, not really. Not about the fights and the sex. That sounds weird. Okay. Your mom has a television. I imagine they're not so deep in the holler that your mom can't get Bravo, ma'am. Okay. She's seen this man. Obviously more than you have. So I don't understand what you think you're hiding from Sherry.
I don't understand what she tells her if she doesn't talk about them fucking or fighting, because
what's left?
I mean, what do you like? We joined a Book of the Month club. We're doing like couples cooking classes. I don't think any of that. Yeah, we're taking night classes together. I don't know if
I mean, The most egregious, well, I won't say the most because it just escalates in, insults and stuff. But she's like, she wakes up in the morning, there's no coffee, there's nothing for her to eat. Jax comes in the door with a venti Starbucks in his
with the
hand.
coffee. Yep.
Like, he's like, oh, well, I thought we had one. We paid $200 for that Keurig.
Yep, right to the money. Right to the money about it.
And they obviously they don't, because neither one of them are sitting with coffee in her hands. Brittany must not drink coffee, so it must not have occurred to him. But I was like, you're not making a good impression at all. And I just wrote sociopath.
Well, did y'all ever start going to church?
There's no sex, no drinking, no cursing, definitely no pooping with the doors open, and right in about church. And so Jack's talking about they're throwing the sand around. What does he say?
Dust.
He doesn't want to go to
there's the priest, and they're waving dust around. There's the organ. I'm like, just you should have just said you don't go to church. Why is it so hard for y'all to be direct about something? Like, clearly you don't go to church. Why list a bunch of imaginary reasons why you don't? No, I mean,
well, he's describing a Catholic church is what he's describing.
That's what
literally.
I know.
You know what I mean? But because I know a lot of Sherrys. I'm very familiar with a lot of Sherrys. Sherry has probably never been in the Catholic church her entire life. Okay. And she says that I got to get him in church. And she says Pentecostal. And Jack says, what's that? That sounds like a cult. Well,
yep.
I'm going to tell you as a former evangelical person with my religious trauma, which is a term I only learned in the last 3 years because I was raised in a very, very cloistering Southern Baptist, which Southern Baptist is not necessarily Pentecostal, but the churches that my mother and I went to, people were speaking in tongues. There was absolutely folks getting healed. There was absolutely prophecy happening. It was intense. It was intense. And I can only picture Jax Taylor being in a pew when somebody falls out talking in tongues. Have you ever witnessed this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a fairly jarring experience. And I'm not taking away from anybody's religious experience. All I know is mine. And you're just saying there, mouth agape. And this person is just having the fuck at it. And, I, as a grown adult, wouldn't want to return to that church either, Jax. But I bet he would rather go to a church than talk about getting married, because she goes in on commitment and what it means.
He's not ready. He's not there. He's just not there.
But okay, I'm gonna get to it in a minute. But so Katie's bridal shower, super, super fancy. They rented a fancy mansion, spent $1 zillion on fucking Taco Bell. They just wanted it to be really nice for all the moms, the grandmoms, everything. Jeff, if you're going to throw me a fancy shower, please don't get Taco Bell. Don't spend $250 on Taco Bell. That's a slap in the face.
Come on. There's Taco Bell. It's stacked with LaCroix. There's a bag of candy. This is all the fancy fixings you need.
Don't forget the mini bottles of tequila.
Yeah. There's lots of tiny jabs at Tequila Katie. There's 3 little tiny jabs at Tequila Katie.
She leans in though. She leans into it.
She does.
And Stassi is vibrating to tell about the NDA. And Sheena says, yep, pampered at the disco would never. And I tend to agree. Like I said earlier, I think Sheena, do I think that they would do something and not tell Sheena? Absolutely. Do I think that she guesses that they didn't and she is true this one time? Yes, I do believe that as well. So, but the compulsion that these women have to, quote, get to the bottom of something is boring. It's boring.
That's why I mentioned it earlier. And if I don't think it's good for them. I think if they put half the energy Kristen and Stassi they do into this, because Stassi complains about I'm not saying she needs a job or whatever horseshit. I know they make plenty of money doing this show. I am under no delusion otherwise. But she complains about not having a man, not having a job, feeling out of sorts, needing to do this, needing to do that. Well, then do any of that stuff with you're spending all your time on one thing for someone that really doesn't need to even be in your life, like at all.
But the thing is, though, you talk about like this is her job. Well, she's doing her job very poorly
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
going in on the same thing that is not really that interesting is not doing the best job. Like you know what would be a fun thing? I want to see Katie open that blow up doll. I want
Yeah.
to see Sheena like, eat that Taco Bell. Like understand what the audience wants because that is your only job and your only focus because you don't have anything else and go for that. Hammering the same nail over and over and over is becoming very tedious to me. And I don't like it. But
or go all the
it's
way and let's see you peeping Tom like from a tree outside of her house. You know where she lives. She lives in your old apartment.
I mean,
I bet you could do some hardcore spying on her. Like you're not having a job. Right. Go hang out, rent a car and follow her around town. See where she takes that Range Rover. Go to the Beverly Hills Hotel. You ain't doing shit. Let's step it up a notch if we're going to do something.
Fair enough. That's right. But you know what does entertain me? This drive with Jax and Brittany and her mother. This is torture for him. You might as well be waterboarding this man. First off, she wants to go to Rodale Drive.
Yep.
She wants to go to Rodale Drive and see it. She wants to see the Hollywood sign. I want to see the Hollywood sign. And Jax is like, oh, God, the whole time. And then he just can't mask it. She says, I'm going to be real upset if you brought my baby out here and all these years and I'm going to marry her. I'm going to be real upset about that.
Oh, no, he didn't bring her out there Sunday. She got taken out of Kentucky. She got taken out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
He snatched her right up. Yeah. She got taken out.
But we need to talk about marriage and commitment since she got taken out of Kentucky.
Yeah. But she didn't get taken out of Kentucky.
I know that.
Brittany got in her car and drove out there to be on a show with a man that is going to make her life miserable for the next 10 years. And Brittany's not helping. She's leaning in. I mean, hopefully it's going to be us one day. Girl, you already know that his man is not at his best behavior. Stop it. Just let it lie.
I don't think she's doing this a lot when mom's not around. She talks about it time's a ticking, like she's always over there with her arms crossed, tapping her foot. I think that's a pile of shit. I think when Sherry shows up, she puts on a little bit because I don't think Brittany's doing that. I think Brittany's too scared to do that, to be honest with you.
Me too. And I think that Brittany lived in this very tight conservative, and I don't mean like politically conservative, I mean like traditional bubble. And when her mom is around, she absolutely has to sort of slide back into that. Because remember last season, whenever it was the chowing down on the Kentucky muffin rumors, how upset she was. She was upset because
her folks were going to watch.
Yes. And we see in the scenes from next week when the rumors about Jax being a homosexual come out and her mom is like reacting to it in some kind of way. And so, Brittany, you could make this different. You could talk about the holiday sign. What am I saying? The Hollywood sign. You could talk about Rodale Drive.
What, here on your vampire show? It's the holidays.
No, my brain, my speech impediment be coming back. And she says in her confessional, the least he could do is just answer my mama directly. He's avoiding everything and just don't beat around the bush. Girl, y'all haven't even been together barely a year.
Yeah. Also, what do you expect from this guy? What's he shown you in the past 13 months where you're like, well, when Sherry shows up, he'll really snap into shape? Like, no, you already got him not drinking, not cussing, and not pooping with the door open. You think he's also about to just be like, no, you think he's also about to be like, yeah, I'm all about church and marriage and let's get into that. Like, nah, like.
Well, I may have to call a little fraudacity on this too, because he did go spend Christmas with them in Kentucky. So you think she's not talking about church and commitment? It's like, however many months ago, but he was like, I'm not trying to waste nobody's time. It's 2016, not the 1950s. Sir, just shut up. You're just not helping yourself.
I do like when Jax does nail a good reference and he's like, what about Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn? Look at them.
You
They've
got
been
it
together
right.
forever. They got kids and they've never wanted to do it. I was like, you're goddamn right, Jax. That's exactly. And they're awesome. Way to go.
They
That's a
are.
great
Yes,
example. And you got it
you
right.
got it
I
right.
love it.
Thank God. But when they get back to when we get back to the bridesmaid, Stassi's being a bitch about Ariana milking the bridesmaid. When she wants to come hang out with the girls, she does. When she wants to hang out with the boys, she does. That should be what everybody is. Y'all should all just be doing whatever you want. Stop honing in on this woman. But she's mad because of the NDA rumors, right? And
Well, also, like Katie had to get invited to this, right? I mean, sorry.
what
Ariana had to get invited to this, right?
right
By Katie.
Katie, yeah.
So
Or
what's
by
she
the people
talking about?
organizing it.
Stassi, have you ever been to a party where you were not invited by the host? Like, is there anything recent we could watch a video of you not being welcome at a party, yet you just walk the fuck right up in there? I think that happened. So please stop getting on to people about shit we just saw you do 3 weeks ago. And like, this is Katie's party. She's here. Stop
Yeah.
being so upset.
Yeah. And like, I just want to say right now, I am so glad that I have aged out of any kind of like wedding obligation, like bridesmaid stuff. It is so much work. And I'll never forget my friend Emery got married. Shout out Emery. And I was a bridesmaid. And I am a tall lady. Okay. I'm tall. And the photographer kept calling me Amazon. He was like, yeah,
cool.
You're on the end, the Amazon. I know. I wasn't insulted. I thought that was fucking cool as hell. But I was walking around in this purple dress all day. And he's like, yo, Amazon, get in the middle. You're too tall. And I'm just like, I don't want to do any more bridesmaid stuff. I don't want to have to wear uncomfortable shoes and spend $1 zillion on a dress that's ugly and I'll never wear again. I don't want to have to. And now in 2026, bride culture now is so out of control. Thank God I am aged out of it. There is
I can't
something
imagine.
to be said. It's a lot.
Just the stuff that goes into kids proposing or asking other people to go to prom is too much right now.
Yeah, like it's just too much. It's just overblown in a way that it's too much for me. But El Coyote in the broad daylight, they're doing some tequila shots. Jax and the Toms. Oh, Peter's there too, and Jax. I'm reluctant to take his side because he's being so stupid about it. Because the way he relates it to him is just so skewered to like victimize himself and make Brittany and her mom look stupid, which is not a nice way to talk about your partner. Now, we'll talk later about what I think about Brittany, but like he's like, oh, all these women in the South, they're trying to get married real early, and then Schwartz talking about they're brainwashed into this.
Yeah, that's honestly Schwartz got me more than Jackson. This one, like, you ever see those old guys like happy life, happy wife? Like they're brainwashed, man. Like, well, you don't know. You've never been there. So,
yeah. And
like,
then
also, you don't want to marry your partner. Those guys that are married to women for 40 plus years, maybe they 40 years ago wanted to marry their partner. You do not.
And he was like, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but he's like, no. You know what? If y'all all agree to break up with your girlfriends, I'll call the wedding off. Take her. Nah, I'm just kidding. I want to marry her because I want to make Katie happy.
Yeah, that just kidding. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel like,
he's
I
not
don't
just
think
kidding.
You're kidding, buddy.
He hopes somebody says do it. He did absolutely. And what the crazy thing is we know they get married because we've seen the scenes from this season. Imagine having already married this man, watching this at home. Y'all are putting it in, watching it on the telly, and having to sit next to him and be like, what the fuck? But you're already married to him. Y'all already did this to you.
I know. And can you imagine, like, the whole time y'all are engaged, like Katie is, she's doing all the work, right? I mean, he went and got like fitted for the suit that only he could get fitted for. That is pretty much what I know of his,
the extent of his work. Yeah.
His participation. And then like to watch, because when you're doing stuff, you're like, God damn, I feel like I'm the only one doing shit around here. In this instance, she gets to watch it back and go, God damn, I was the only one doing anything on there. Like, and
Vindication.
that's vindication. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I wish that somebody had sat Katie down like LVP is trying to sit Brittany's mom down and say, really? Really? Like, you're
She
okay with this?
goes, she goes all in on it.
She does
Yeah.
not pull any punches. And she's like, you're sure you want to marry him? Well, he's been to the country twice and it's fine. How well do you know him? You know, like, and Brittany's like,
He's
no,
not good for her.
no. Well, go from the jail to the church. I did that. LVP said that. I don't know why I did Brittany's accent, but like,
I like it.
she's saying a lot of things that as a mother would really throw up some flags to me. It would really be like, hey, Brittany, why would she say jail to the church? Right? Hey, Brittany, why would this woman who's known him a really long time be really, really reluctant to give her blessing? And then we have the classic Lisa do an impression of Brittany. He breaks my heart, I'll break his dick.
Is this where we get the footage from him in Kentucky with the chickens also?
I think so. Maybe where
fantastic.
he's like, oh, I don't want him to peck me. Oh.
He didn't want the chickens to peck him.
Yeah. I mean, but he's from Michigan, right? Like,
no. He clarifies where he's from when they're in El Coyote Sunday. He's from
where? Hell. Oh, yeah, we already knew that, sir.
That's what he says, though. Yeah.
I know. But I think in true Jack's fashion, I think he sort of like mixed it up. I think he was trying to say he's living in hell, but what he said was, I'm from hell.
I know. I liked it.
Yeah. You know, Stassi's feeling some kind of way about being single, blah, blah, blah. Then Katie has to open her gifts. And that's the worst part of a shower where they're all sitting around in a circle watching you open things. Ah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. Ugh, no.
Until Lisa gives a present.
All I can think about is that was a lot of money to spend on something that those people will never use. Right? Like,
well,
you think
he doesn't have sex with her. That doesn't mean he won't have sex with this doll.
Well, especially since it looks exactly a little like Lisa.
Yeah. That was great.
But it's named Katie. So you can't resist that. The way the editing is playing like Jax's really shitty comments about marriage over the sweet, like, bridal shower is downright diabolical. Because he's just talking about like, oh God, it's such pressure and this and this. And meanwhile, Katie's open her gifts. Oh, like that.
Well, then it goes back and Schwartz is like, marriage is for suckers. Like, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Like, anyway, Tom and I are really looking forward to our nuptials, you know, and they're just like, because each time it goes back to Coyote, you know, like they're hammered by the end of it, you know, like the third time it goes back to them, like they're kind of a mess.
Who's picking Brittany and her mom up? I hope it's not Jax. Then when we go back, because we're bouncing back and forth to the shower and stuff, and we've sort of said most of it all, but the conflict is incoming between Stassi and Ariana. And, you know, Ariana, I have really kind of gone hard at her for being such a cool girl in the past, but I think this is the way to play it. She's like, this is a woman you work with at a bar. This is like, I didn't sign anything. And she even starts out though trying to explain it away. But as you can see, the wheels are turning, that she's like, this is not what they're here for. This is not what they're doing. And they keep going back and forth about, oh, well, it's the same thing that Kristen did. And Ariana is just like all of her like flabbers are gasted, that they are comparing the months and months of torture that Kristen put her through to this one thing that Ariana did. And it's like, you know, and I love it so much when she says, Stassi, I care about Katie. I don't give a shit about you. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
So it shuts Stassi down. Zoop, like zoop.
Well, they're just going such the wrong way about it. You know, like, first off, they're bringing it up at the party they put together for Katie. Why Katie and Stassi want to have this out, you know, right here. I don't really understand, but that's all right. You know, and then Katie lists the reason she doesn't like Lala, which we all know, and Ariana kind of defends each one. And then it gets to Kristen and Ariana, and Stassi takes over. And this is when, you know, Ariana's ruining everything. Like,
I had
please
that too.
be a grown person and
Yeah.
stop complaining about not having a partner and get out there. Like,
Yeah.
now this person's ruined it. Like, what, your tea party? Please stop. Please. For yourself. I like you. Just please stop acting like this.
But like, you mean the woman that you walked up to and confronted and continued to berate and then continued to discount her own experience, she's ruining the party?
Mm-hmm.
You started this shit. Which,
that's what I said. Ariana didn't bring it up.
Exactly. And like, we understand now too that any scene that you're filming, Emily and I had this conversation on In the City, where one of the women hosted this like reception dinner and then got mad when people were arguing about it. I mean, you have to sort of like take it on the chin a little bit. You know that drama is going to happen. That's why you're there. If you didn't want it to happen, then you wouldn't do it on camera. But for Stassi to just suggest that Ariana is the root of this, and that if it wasn't for her, they'd all be sitting around having a good time, is just, there is a double bind there that Ariana can't get away from. So if she takes their side, then she's being weird and fake and like cozying up to the bridesmaids. But if she takes Lala's side, then she is being like this traitor and who is being a hypocrite and doing all this kind of stuff. So there's no winning for Ariana in this way. And good for her for going, because turns on her.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's at a place where she was welcomed into. So I don't know why she's confronted. That's really messed up. Sheena finally tries to come to her help a little bit.
She just pops up again.
Stassi just can't stop. And I'm like, oh shit, you had a really good run like the first year and a half of the show because you had Jax to pick on and berate, and he didn't know how to come back from this, like verbally or, from an intelligence point of view. And now you have calm, level-headed, thinking things out in front of you, Ariana, and you don't know how to deal with this. And it's consistently not going well for you. Please stop. Right. And then Ariana just basically gives, I don't give a fuck. I'm walking away from this. Like, it's not going to go good for me.
That's a really good point too, that Stassi is like constantly trying to like find her footing on how to be on this show. Because like you said, the first year and a half, right? She had Jax to focus on, but now she's like trying to figure out. And then, she was unmoored without Katie and Kristen for a while. And I hope season 6 Stassi figures it out a little bit more then, because this one hasn't really been at it, because she's just mean. She's mean.
We got more than half a season to go still, so maybe there's hope in season 5.
We'll say, I know, because we got and still to come, all of this stuff. We're obviously going to see a bachelorette party. I think we see Stassi's nipples a little bit.
Okay.
We get the very, very famous Tom's in drag, where he's like, it opens the door, like, he's like a battered woman. We get that.
Yeah.
The name of the next episode that we're covering is The Roast of Jax, or Jax's Roast. So I think this is where we get the confrontation about the homosexuality of it all, which I don't know.
It looks like it.
And then Stassi and Jax have like a real come to Jesus about it. Like, how many of these do we have to have? And Tequila Katie's gets, everybody hurts everybody's feelings.
Yeah.
So that's still to come. I did not have a whole lot of Because the Past. I had the can't Google a dick, which you said is erroneous.
That's a million percent erroneous. 2016, absolutely. Come on.
Okay. And then Kristen's hat with that big wide brim, like that was real 2016. There. So that's all that I had for Because the Past.
That couple loves some hats. I can't read it, so I'm gonna go. We're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna see if I can think about it.
Okay. All right. So I have a chunk.
That's wild. I think that's my first one of those.
What, that you wrote it too small? Or did you like drip something on it?
I don't know. No, I just can't read it. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm taking up this much time with it.
And by can't read it, he means his own writing. Literally cannot read your own writing. Yeah, I can't read it either. Starts with an R, a P, I don't know. Okay, so chump. Hands down, Brittany's mom.
Sherry is your chump.
Sherry is my chump.
Okay.
Because her and Brittany conspired to antagonize this man. I mean, this is not, he's been to Kentucky twice. He knew who Brittany was. talking about church and getting married and all that stuff on a visit, that's you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing. You were spoiling for a fight for this man. And Brittany did not even step in to mitigate it. So yeah. Who's your chump?
I had to go with Stassi. Kristen
Yeah.
upset me probably more, but there's a little bit. I am wanting more from Stassi. I like her more now than I did when we first started. Sometimes she's downright amazing. So I'm tired of her wasting her time doing
What
this other
else is
stuff.
there though? Like she doesn't have a boyfriend, and all of these friendship dynamics are we've
Do this
seen
fashion
what's
thing.
happening.
Start writing, be an entertainment reporter. Do
Oh,
something. I mean, like jump into
you mean more from her
find a
life?
find a man that you've been talking about not having. Like
Yeah.
if you want to sit around and drink wine and talk shit about people, sit around and drink wine and talk shit about different people. Not even just like even do what you're doing with Lala. Start a detective agency. Any of these things.
What I would watch the fuck out of that show, a detective agency, but with from Stassi as the head, be like Veronica Mars, but like make it bitchy.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Um,
why does she keep that partner around? She's horrible. But she does have the
uh,
hats.
yeah. My LVP, I know we're not allowed to say Lisa, but her impression of Brittany, you break my heart, I'll break your dick, is classic. I love it so much. So I'm giving it to her. Second, probably to Ariana because of the I care about Katie, I don't give a shit about you. I think that was
Yeah.
very succinct and it wasn't mean in a way that it was degrading or insulting. It just like it shut it down. So
My LVP, very easy for me because I did some digging and I came up with nothing. So Jax Taylor's PR team for getting the dick pics out of there. I mean, way
I
to go.
mean,
I mean it to
good for
this day. This
them.
is 10 years later. So
Wow.
yeah,
Not even
way
on
to go.
Reddit? Not even on Reddit?
Nothing. Well, I mean, that one's an easy
Wow.
for them. Not, I mean, they got good filters over there, but you figure one of these sites, I went down some spots. I found some things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? Juicy
Mhm.
stuff? Tell me.
Well, I mean, porn. What are we talking? I'm looking for dick pics here. What do
Oh,
you think I found?
I thought you meant like specific to Jax. Like you found some real Jax related juicy things.
No, 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 no.
God, how many fucking porn stars are named Jax? More than you can
More and
count.
more, more after 2016, I bet. Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Well, again, find us on at Tecapino Pod on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And YouTube, you can watch us some. And we will be back with McBee's will be next. And then probably, I'm not too sure when Ultimate Girls Trip premieres. I think it's next week. I already have the screener for it. So we got some changes coming up. The lineup's going to look a little different. So y'all plug in and stay tuned. We got some stuff coming up. And we'll say hello to all the folks who are commenting on our wherever you get your podcast. I love it so much. It's so fun. And we
Yes. Thank you,
will
everybody.
continue to monitor. So you guys keep coming at us.
Thanks, everybody.